stereotypes. This is where we start. It is actually only one thing that you're going to be looking for your character, because whenever you get a script, most of the time they give you a single stereotype. That's fine. That's just who it is that they want you to be. With that, you're going to have your behavioral adjective plus your location-based categorized plural noun. What does that mean? It just means disciplined, New York City, principal ballerinas. The reason why we're breaking it down this way is because you need to make sure that you have a specific way of getting that we can expand on for your character. The director wants the character to be disciplined. And from that, we can break that down into different ways of getting that are very nuanced and really creative and fun. But if you were to right now have to embody getting disciplined as that character, you could do that pretty effectively. And that's a stencil of emotion that you're going to put on your body. It's not saying that it's a cookie cutter and that you can only behave this way. It's just saying that this is how you get, and it's because your character is disciplined that these ways of getting naturally flow from you. Then you have the subculture of New York City. Okay, that's a large subculture, but it's still a subculture within the United States and within a city. So anybody who lives there is going to have a few specific ways of being, ways of thinking, belief, and opinions. But then we break it down even farther, because the next subculture that you're going to be breaking down is the ballerinas. So you want to make sure that you understand what subculture it takes to understand the ballerinas of that area. New York ballerinas are going to be different than ballerinas somewhere else, in Russia and Moscow, the UK, London. Now, why is this important? Opinions and beliefs. It also gives you resources to take from while you're building this character out and finding them within the script. You might have also noticed the last part of that was a plural. Why is it ballerinas and it's not just ballerina? I'm only making one person. The reason why is because we want to take from everybody that is a ballerina or is potentially someone that you looked up to and then created your self-image into this ballerina and then tried to accomplish it. Now, in this case, you are accomplishing it because you are the principal ballerina. For those of you who don't know, principal ballerina is just like the top of the top. They are the elite ballerina. There'd have to be so much talent, so much work ethic and dedication and drive for this person. That's where you get that awesome disciplined energy naturally, but it's woven throughout all of their behaviors. Now, what's also really cool about this is you're going to start to see how caricatures, the posture, mannerisms, the way that their body moves, things like that. Imagine if I stretch all the time or dance all the time. I'm sure my movements would change dramatically if I did, even for the course of 3 to 4 months as I get into the character. So this is how their movements are going to naturally flow and change. And so this is something where you're starting to embody this, and suddenly, look at that. You have put on a caricature that you never even expected. And it's all from this breakdown. Disciplined, New York City, principal, ballerina. Now, that's the stereotype that we're working with here. We are going to need to find out a little bit more. I'm not saying that's not enough to give us what we need to create an amazing performance. But let's say that we wanted to give this character depth. What we want to find is noun identifiers. What are noun identifiers? What in the world? Noun identifiers are specifically what we do on a day-to-day basis, and then people identify us for doing it or for having something. So let's say that you are that ballerina. You go to a dance studio and you practice dancing. The location and the type of dancing that you're doing is still broken down in this noun identified way. That's what gives us the you are at a dance studio specifically for ballerinas, that specifically trains ballerinas. And you are doing a specific style of dancing. And you are therefore a very specific person. You are noun identified. I don't know if you knew that, but that's for everything. Let's say you walk into insert famous coffee shop here. And then from that, you are now identified as said coffee shop buyer or customer or fanatic, right? These are noun identifiers. Or let's say that you have a child. In the script, you are noun identified as a parent. These are ways that we can break down exactly who this person is. Now, we needed to noun identify everything in this script for that specific reason. We want to build this real life persona. These little things are going to establish either routines or likes and dislikes, opinions, beliefs, how you spend your time. You are going to add depth through just the smallest of things in a script. So that takes us to identities. And identities comes with Strong choices. What are strong choices? We are going to decide who they could be, what identity they could have from having and doing the things that they're doing from their noun identifier. You get to decide who it is that you're being and why they are awesome. So I suggest you choose somebody who is awesome. From this, we take all the noun identifiers and we put them into what identity they could fit into. It's going to look something like this, which takes us right into behavior comes from understanding how we get when emotionally and the why because. But it's a simple why because. We are going to ask ourselves, how do we get emotionally when? So a why with a simple because answer. That is going to take us into the specific circumstance that has us connected to the noun identifier. So how do I get when I am standing at a bus stop with all of my books? And then you introduce exactly what's happening in the scene. That has to be script factual. So you're going to say, I get calm and relaxed while sitting at the bus stop with my books waiting on the bus. Why? Because the bus is always on time and I know the bus driver and they never miss a stop and they know me by name and they know that I'm going to be waiting here Monday through Friday this time. So we always have a positive information. You're going to go through the script and it's going to be methodical. It's going to get a little bit boring, but it's very insightful. Then you have an understanding. So this gives you backstory, a connection based on your identity and in this moment as the public city bus rider. And that's who you are in this moment. You are a public city bus rider to the world around you. If someone were to walk up to you, that's who they're going to see. But you're going to go through the entire script and you're going to find all of these. And not only do you have what causes your behavior, but also how you respond in specific circumstances. Because it's not good enough that we go in and we think that we have a character made. I might be able to do it. Or I think I get them. I can become this person. Go for it. But it's important that you have that ability to become this character in the way that it is script factual. That would make you an outstanding actor and or actress. Next up, after we've done all of our behaviors, why? Because we now get who you are. And this is the collection of all of your identities in the script. Now you have a breakdown of exactly who this person is. You have layers, you have depth. Let's say that this public city bus rider's character is also the New York City principal ballerina. And that's just two of their identities that they embody in their life. They are also phenomenal New York City mom, consistent downtown Whole Foods shopper, terrible at-home gardener. And they have all of this about them. And they keep up with all of this. And they enjoy it. They do things that they enjoy. We spend time on now, people, places, and things. And so it's important that we understand where we're putting our time and our energy into, because those are things that make that person who they are. We are taking all of the why because answers, and we are going to now connect them to the identities, and we are going to put them in a list such as this. Yes. So this list is actually going to give you exactly what it is that you're looking for this character. This is where we take the who you're being, and this goes into what it is that we are seeing. Everything that you are seeing is going to come down to your opinions and your beliefs, which shape the world around you. It actually creates the world that you live in. We want to go through and we want to connect everything that we're seeing to the nouns around us. The way that we do this is from a noun plus an adjective, and then we just flip it, right? The simple little lingual algorithm is just an adjective noun. From that, you're getting the bus and dirty. You're going to look at it as dirty bus, or grocery store and best in town. Now you're going to look at it as the best grocery store. You're going to respond to being in either environment based on this. But we don't just identify the things. We identify all nouns like this. So you're going to get people, places, and things identified. You are going to respond to this or them in this way. This is how we actually create true engagement and true embodiment of emotions on set. Which lastly takes us back to our action statements, because the way in which we're behaving is going to cause us to do something. Physically, emotionally, we are doing something at all times. These are action statements. This could be walking quickly back into the grocery store, running excitably across the busy road. This could be trying desperately to make it on time. All of these are going to cause us to behave and respond. If you can connect with this action statement and get like the character, then you are going to be living as them at all times. Now, the reason why it's important that we have these action statements is because whenever you're going on set, you're actually working a Rubik's Cube in a way. Everything is shifting and changing, and you have different scenes to have different takes of, and understanding how to give the right performances for the right format that you're in and things like that. You are going to have that confidence and you are going to become them on set. It goes back into understanding exactly who they are and getting into the life of the scene. If you want to keep it simple, stick with the initial stereotype, and that's fine. You can build from there. And I suggest all young actors do that because you never want to get overwhelmed. Again, it's all about being able to practice to bring out your best.